You better act it. Do your dance. Do your dance, Aaron.
Okay, well,
So fired.
okay, no, I was getting jiggy with it.
Excuse me.
I feel sorry for Leah. Leah's his wife.
So,
That wasn't jiggy.
the podcast. We don't have a name yet.
The podcast that shall not be named is the name.
No, it's not.
It is.
It is. We don't have a name yet, but we're
No.
moving on.
It's the name of the podcast.
Look
is
at the
podcast
flyer.
that shall not be
Look
named.
at the flyer. The flyer says what it is. Okay. Don't try to change the name, but it's right there on the flyer.
That's the name.
And by the way, I am your host, Aaron Boyce,
I am Aaron's boss, Tonya Mack.
and I'm not gonna disagree. So, but
There you go.
but I wanted to do a couple of things before we continue with our next two fabulous guests. One is Diamonds and Pearls, and I did not sing.
Thank you.
Ms. Vaughn, her phone number is 469-882-8244. That's 469-882-8244. So
You should have
that
let me
is-
do that. Why couldn't I be the voiceover person for the...
Go on.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you to visit Diamonds and Pearls, located at 2251 Florin Road. Once more.
Diamonds and pearls.
See, he's just
Okay.
mad because he should have
Okay.
let me do it in the first place.
Now, moving on. This podcast presented by Florence Square Community Development Corporation, otherwise known as FSCDC. And we follow what's called the BEACH model: business, education, arts and culture, community enrichment, and health and wellness. In that regard, we have 5 events coming up at Florence Square or in Florence Square or something about Florence Square. March 23rd is our Home Buyers Assistance Expo. Tonya, if you're looking for a home and know somebody who is, you let them come here. We can have a whole mess of folk talking to you about buying a home, buying a second home, buying a third home, getting credit to buy the home, getting insurance, all that kind of stuff is going to be right there at the Home Buyers Assistance Expo. Just second one, we know what we're doing. Next, on May 15th, we have the Job Information and Resource Fair. And that is, well, Tonya, if you know anybody who's looking for a job,
Why don't you talk to them?
wait.
Why does it keep saying my name?
Tanya, if you know somebody who got their hand out way too many times,
Like,
send them to the Job Information and Resource Fair on May 15th.
are you going to be there?
I will be there.
Because you're... Oh, okay, sorry. Keep going.
Okay, fine. That was humor and not very good. So next, we have the Youth Entrepreneurs
that was funny.
and
That was
Life
funny.
Skills Symposium. I've been told I got to look at the camera more. Girl,
Yeah.
I'm looking down.
And
so
stop tapping the
so,
table.
And stop tapping the table. Okay. So, and that's gonna be on May the 18th, and that is if you got young people who are looking to make their own money. They don't want McDonald's or Burger King or Starbucks or Walmart. They can make their own dime by coming to the Youth Entrepreneurs and Life Skills Symposium. Then our 4th annual Small Business Success Summit. OMG, we have all sorts of folk up in here talking and helping people about being in business the successful way. Because everybody got a dream, but sometimes that dream don't work out. You know, I can cook, but it don't mean I don't know how to open a restaurant.
No.
And yet, if you can cook and you want to open up a restaurant, then you come to the Small Business Success Summit, and that's going to be on July 27th. And then there's this thing called life. And we all want to live life, but we don't do it well because we eat too much fat and too much bad food because it tastes good. All right? And so we're trying to flip the script on that. We have this thing called the
Pastor Boyce. I can't even.
well,
like, he
I'm
just
trying-
went to church.
I'm trying to tell people about
Aaron, he just went to church on the whole flyer.
Sorry.
That's
Okay,
why I need to
okay,
do the
okay,
announcements
okay.
from now on.
Okay.
Can the Church of Tonya Mack say amen?
Can you say the Holistic Health and Wellness Fair? Go on. Go ahead. Go
I don't want to now because you tried to make me. Go ahead. Finish.
Holistic Health and Wellness Fair.
Pastor.
And that's going to be on October 26th. Well, because I know, well, first of all, I'm diabetic, right? I go there on every African marketplace, and they got all these delicious food. I ask them, I go, how much of that is sugar-free? Not a single bit.
Right.
Not a single bit. Ask them, how much you got sugar? They go, oh my God, that's my sugar. How much grease? That much grease. Come on now. So if you want life, you come to Holistic Wellness, whatever that's called. Holistic Health and Wellness. You got me all rattled now.
You're super passionate.
Rattled. Well, I am.
Pastor Boyce.
It's good stuff. Hey, we bring it to the community for a reason.
Yes, we do.
Now, saying all that.
Can I have a look?
Our number is 916-215-1831. I'm sure it's on the screen. Or ab.fscdc@yahoo.com. Yahoo.
Go ahead, take him to church.
Okay,
bro.
fine. No. Church is over. Because we're about to go to church on some other things really soon.
I know we are.
Really soon, because we got some important stuff. But before we get to, I'm going to say before we get to the important stuff, that's not right. Tonya, can you please share something? You see what I mean?
What?
It was a bad segue. Okay,
It was a sucky segue.
It was a sucky segue.
But
so,
what?
So, Tonya, would you like to share anything that you might be doing before we get to the important stuff?
That felt like shade. Like that was hella shady boots right there.
But I didn't mean it.
Yes, you did.
But please, share.
I don't want to now because of the way you did your little sucky intro.
Okay.
Okay, but I might have something to say. Shoot. Okay.
We got people playing now. Oh, man.
We have officially fired our executive producer.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you please?
I'm gonna wait until our distinguished guests have had their say, and then I'm gonna wrap it up.
But no. Okay.
I don't want to do it now. I want to wait till after we talk to our fabulous guests.
You want to do it now?
No.
Okay, fine.
Because your segue sucked, and I need to go to marinate in my fabulosity.
Okay.
So that I then can wrap the show up with all my good vibes and good energy.
So now, can I seriously get serious for the moment?
No.
Well, I am.
Yes.
Well, I am.
Okay, here we go.
Because here at Flower Square, we celebrate the authenticity of our blackness.
Amen. That's right.
And we do it when you walk in the building. It's all through the building, and we have a 4,000 square foot museum, the Sojourner Truth African Heritage Museum, and that celebrates it. We have a new area called the Digital Cafe and Lounge, and when you see the walls, you see the names of African American folk with disabilities who have been so successful, and that celebrates it. And when you see the walls of the building, you see nothing but the celebration. Now, part of that celebration is some pain, right? But I'm told, and I don't know how true it is, but it seems pretty true, that you can't feel the greatness of the good without experiencing some of the evil of the bad. And if that's the case, we can feel some greatness of the good, can't we? Mm-hmm. Now I want to talk to you about slavery, or the end of slavery. We's free. Oh yeah, it felt good, I'm sure. We's free. And there were certain promises that was given to us. Traditionally, they call it 40 acres and a mule. But what they were saying, it was just, we weren't serious. But the people who they were talking to was deadly serious. And today, we're still waiting for that. Now, Al Sharpton said, and I can't say it verbatim, but he said something about a debt unpaid is still a debt. You know, you can't be like, oh, you know, the statute of limitation ran off on that. And I'm not going to talk about other ethnicities, if that's a word, who have been horrifically wronged by the United States and the companies and the businesses within the United States, and they receive something. You may not want to call it reparations, but whatever it is, they got it. But no, slavery, we can't talk about because now we're relying on our crutches now. It's like, oh, that's so long ago. Stop using it as a crutch. But ladies and gentlemen, a debt that has not been paid still has to be paid. And I got two wonderful people who are going to be talking about paying that debt. And yes, I do feel that. And I want to talk to these folk who don't understand that's not about a crutch. It's about business. And when you're dealing with business, you got to pay your debts. So, America, you got to pay your debts. And I have Miss Tsion Taddese and Mr. Chris Logdson. And they are here to speak to us about reparations and what California is doing in that regard. And Tonya, I'm so glad that they are here. I'm going to give them just a little hand clap, if that's okay.
Thank you.
So, can you guys fill me in? Maybe start with maybe a historical thing. Maybe I missed something. You want to fill something in? Let's start there.
Okay, so for me, like you were saying, reparation is everything. Repairing the damage that has done to the African American community from generation to generation to generation where we are right now. So it's about time. So this makes sense because right now what we're trying to do is really reach out to the people from the grassroots instead of from the top. So create a program with the city that really represents our community, whether it's business, whether it's nonprofit, whether our education, whether it's healthcare or housing, everything that has been taken away from African American community now regenerating it and putting it back into our community so our youth can thrive and also create generational wealth like every other people came as immigrant here and created that generational wealth for themselves and for their family and for the community. So I believe this would give us a chance now to create that generational wealth that was part of our African American community. Now, through reparation, we can rebuild our community, Black community, through reparation. So that's what we signed up for. We're going to work with the city right now with the program. They're still trying to create a program, so they want to hear it from the African American community, starting here in Sacramento. What is it reparation means to you, to the family, to your community? And then how would you like it to be created as a program according to, like, some people want some land, some people want housing, some people house businesses to be funded. So that's what we're working on. So this is just a beginning, but it's a good beginning.
So, Chris, this whole movement started statewide and then filtered into the cities and then the communities, and is that where you and Ms. Tsion are working in the cities and the communities? It's kind of like town hall meetings. Is that right?
Very similar, and also things like this where we're going to local community leaders and local community centers and places where our people are and raising awareness about reparations at the state level, which you just mentioned, which I'll say a word about, and then also what Sacramento is asking its current residents about, which is the particular and specific question: should Sacramento, the city, pursue reparations at the local level? That is a question that the mayor's office has asked a lot of us to ask our community members to weigh in on, and there's a survey right now that we're asked to help raise awareness about and do some outreach for. You can reach the survey on one of these cards, of course, but at www.sacrepsurvey.com, www.sacrepsurvey.com. You can take the survey right there. It's less than 5 minutes, and it will help you answer the questions that the city is asking, specifically about should Sacramento, whether or not Sacramento should pursue reparations at the local level.
Is this survey anonymous, or do you put your name and phone number and all your contacts
It
on
is
it?
an anonymous survey, if I'm not mistaken. So it is an anonymous survey. We do ask in the survey about whether or not you are a Sacramento resident or not, because we are focused on Sacramento residents. Folks who are outside of the city of Sacramento could take the survey, but we're really focused on city of Sacramento residents right now.
So then do me a favor, speaking to your mic, because I keep hearing that it going in and out, and I don't know if that's the case.
I'll bring it closer.
Okay, yeah.
1 2 1 2.
We don't want to have you miss some stuff and you come back.
That's
you
really
know?
interesting, though, about the survey. So if you are an African American, I mean, we could get into the the dissection of who self-identifies as Black American or from other places, or we could talk about that. But how would you ensure that the integrity of the data that's collected if it's done anonymously?
So there are some other questions that ask about your demographic profile in the survey itself, and so there are questions about your how you self-identify racially, how you self-identify ethnically. Also, there's a question specifically about whether or not you identify as a Black or African American, whether or not whether or not you're a descendant of someone who was enslaved and emancipated in this country. Also, and there are some information that asks about your neighborhood and sort of where you live. And the focus, though, is on, in particular, Black residents in Sacramento, because the city really wants to first know what Black residents think about whether or not the city should pursue reparations at the local level.
And when you say in Sacramento, are you specifically talking about the city
Yes.
or the Sacramento
City.
at large? You mean city?
Yes.
Do you know if that would be opened up and extended to those who don't necessarily live in the footprint of the city?
It potentially could, but that would have to happen likely through some action at the county level, particularly probably through the Board of Supervisors. This effort is really an initiative that comes out of the mayor's office. So to be quite honest, it is a mayoral initiative. It's not a city of Sacramento initiative as of yet. It's not a city council initiative yet. This really comes from the mayor's office and from some folks in the mayor's office who want to know what Sacramentans think about what Sacramento should do.
And how old do you have to be to participate in the survey?
I don't think there's an age limit on the survey at all. You could take the survey, and we're encouraging the young folks to take the survey.
Yes.
The youth, folks who are a little bit older like myself, and even older than me too. We want everyone to take the survey.
So every family, everyone could log in separately as a family member.
Absolutely.
It's not one survey per household.
Yes.
Great, that's good.
It's individual, yeah.
Perfect.
So, and you may have answered this. I'm just trying to ask again: is what is the goal of the survey after it's been collected? All the information is collected. Where does it go from there?
Yeah. So I'll take a little bit of that, and then feel free to jump in on this too. So the goal of the survey is to get the thoughts, ideas, and perspectives of Sacramento residents on this particular question, right? So Sacramento wants to know what we think about whether or not we should pursue reparations at the local level. So that's the goal, is to get as much community participation, input, responses as possible. We want as many, and to be honest with you, every person in Sacramento, especially every Black person in Sacramento, to respond to the survey. But after that, though, and I think that's where your question is going to, after that, what we respond will be used in the decision-making among city officials about whether or not we should actually create a city-level reparations task force or commission like the city of San Francisco has, like the city of LA has, like the city of Berkeley or Culver City or Alameda County. So this will be helpful to start potentially us here in Sacramento creating our own city-level commission.
So is this independent of what the state is doing?
Yes. So yes, and this is important too. So let me do a little bit of background here. So there is a state-level reparations effort underway right now. The state of California in 2019 and 2020 became the first state to create a state-level reparations task force. We were the first state in the country to do it. Other states have soon followed, but we're still the first state in the country to do it. And this was a task force that worked for 2 years through June of last year to do 3 things. First, study reparations with a focus on California's role in slavery and the things that came after slavery. Folks may or may not know, but there was slavery in California. There was actually slavery right in the same city and county where we're sitting right now, here in the city and county of Sacramento also. So the state task force's first job was to answer that question. What is California's role in slavery and the things that came after slavery? Secondly, to educate the public, to raise awareness among the people about what it learned. And finally, the third thing that state task force did was create a set of reparations recommendations for state legislators to then turn into actual laws, to actually do reparations. While the state was working, several cities started to do the same thing on their own, specifically focused on their cities, San Francisco, LA, et cetera. And so Sacramento is among the probably 5, 6, 7, 8 different cities now that have started to take steps forward toward reparations across the country. And last thing I'll say, across the country, there are about 100 different cities, counties, towns that have taken some sort of step this way.
Now,
Can I ask one question real quick?
just a follow-up question.
Okay.
Did I hear also that in California, corporations themselves are looking into reparatory viewing?
Yeah, so not just corporations, but so the answer is yes, but corporations, academic institutions, we have, the way we approach this is that everywhere and everyone who had some responsibility and owes a debt must pay the debt. So that includes cities, counties, it includes corporations, it includes academic institutions, it includes the state government itself, and ultimately includes the federal government, right, also.
So, sorry, do you know what a blurred is?
Blurred?
BLERD.
Black nerd?
Yes.
All right.
That's this girl. Maybe it's just the old crispy grant writer in me. But I was wondering about the data.
Yeah.
So survey is complete.
Yes.
Data comes in. I was thinking, how cool would it be to disaggregate that data by generations to see what do our young people, where do their value systems lie, opposed to, I'm in the 55 plus crowd. So what I would think, oh yes, I am.
No,
Chris, you know this.
No, you're not.
I'm just, Chris, you know this. 55. I'm 55. I save lives. But, I hit the table. Sorry. Got a little happy. So, yeah, I don't know if there will be, opportunity to maybe share it in that way. And so that was really my question was, how would that data be shared? And what are some of the ways perhaps that it could be, if we're very thoughtful and intentional about how we disaggregate that data so that we then could use it not just for this purpose, but also to dig into the value systems of our young people and how best do we serve them and their needs, and then to dig into the value systems of our seniors. What are we missing? Where can we support them better? And so I think we could really be using the data for lots of things.
Well, that's a brilliant point. I'll say this just to respond, and feel free to add to this. But the survey right now lends itself to that kind of disaggregation and that kind of visualization of the data after the data and after the survey is complete. So one of the things I really like about the survey is that in addition to being able to disaggregate by age, generation, by race and ethnicity, gender, of course, also location. The survey actually also allows us to disaggregate by lineage also, right? So we also ask folks, do you know if you are a descendant of someone who's enslaved in this country too? And I think it would be great if after the survey's done, we can see publicly all of the disaggregated data and all of the breakdown in some sort of really easily digestible, understandable visualization that the public can see, the public can access, lives in the public. It's not so like the property of the city right? It's public data. Yeah.
Okay, so here's
also,
I'm sorry.
I may add on to that.
Sure.
There is a question where it asks what reparation means to you.
Right.
So that will, for the younger generation is different, for the middle age is different, for the elderly is different.
Point.
So that question will really kind of detect what it means for everyone individual, what reparation means to them. That's why, like, we can't just say, oh, give us money. They're not going to do that. But this is what it means to me for the young people. It could be buying some clothes, branding clothes or school, whatever it is. For us middle-aged people, maybe people want maybe funds for the businesses, for the nonprofits to build a community. For the elderly, it could be healthcare. Do you see what I mean? So everybody has their needs and wants. So that's the whole point. So we can actually help them create a program that really means for our community. So I think that questions will answer it.
Okay, sorry. Really quickly, this is my last little because don't give me the signal.
No. There's a question that I want to answer that was directly, but
But
go
can
on.
I finish my follow-up?
That's why I backed away.
Back away,
Back
brother.
away. All right.
Okay, so here's the next thing I was thinking. If it was my Christmas list, this is what I would want. I would want that disaggregated data to inform strategic planning at the city level.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, again, I'm back to that again. But I just feel like, when you don't know, you don't know. But when you do know, you do better. So even if we are still working towards reparations, that data tells us right now, real time, where people are, what they're thinking, what they need. And kudos to the office of the mayor and however this happened. But that now means that we've given you a nugget, something to carry forward that you can start working with now, because now you know.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's an important point. If I could just say real quick, that's an important point. To be honest, that the data that's being collected now is useful not just for the reparations work, not just to inform whether or not we create a city level commission task force, et cetera, but it is also insight and even a snapshot into the lived experience and condition of our folks right now.
Right now.
And that's useful right now. And I wanted to say, too, that it's important, I think, that the approach that the city is taking is important here, too. And I said this before, but a lot of times they will tell us what they're going to do and they ask us how we think or what we feel about it, when they're already going to do it or when they're trying to do it. This is a different approach. This is, you tell us what you want. Do you even want a city level commission? Do you even want us? Do you even want us to do this? And what do you want us to do? And then, so tell us. So you as a community, you tell us what you want. You tell us how.
I like that.
Yeah. I think for the first time, even asking the community what they want.
I saw some blues.
I thought he was like reaching out to the ancestors, like, give me wisdom.
I was trying to shoo away the blues.
He was
in
ushering
here.
in the wisdom of our ancestors so that he could sound smart when he asked his question.
Well, I got a question for Ms. Zion here.
Who is smart.
And that is that, I hear two things, and everybody loves to argue about these two things. Well, how much should we give for reparations? Is it $17 billion per person? And how shall we spend it, right? Do we just give that to each person so they can spend it on whatever? Or do we put it into education or housing and that type of thing, right? To me, that is a distraction to what we're trying to do here. To me, we're not worried about how much and where it's going to go. Let's at least get let's get it. And so I wanted to ask you, Zion, what is your feeling about how much and where we're going to spend it versus let's just make it happen?
So what it is really, so at the city level, it's different amount because we only have $1.5 billion budget at the city level. And then when you go to the state level, we have $311 billion?
$250 billion,
Yeah, we have around $311 billion budget. So it depends on what we're asking. And then we're going to the federal level. Now we're asking $1 trillion. Because I'm thinking if America can print out for war, they can print out at the federal level that for the African Americans who paid for it with their blood and sweat for 400 years. If their kids are not eating, you see what I mean? I'm immigrant. So I'm coming here to take advantage like every other immigrant. But what about the people who were here for 400 years and paid for it? Their ancestors are left behind. That's what I see. me as an immigrant person. So when African American benefit thrive, the whole Black community thrive. So, but that was been taken from us. For me, when it was due, when civil rights movement passed, that was the time that, reparation was due, because our people paid for it. Like I was saying, that's 400 years of their blood and sweat that they paid for this country. So where is it? Where is it? So instead of letting our people just go, here you go, now you're taking us back into the prison system so you can make money off us again and again. That type of cycle that was done to our community, that's why I don't like people saying, oh, it's the same, we are in the same level. No, you had 400 years ahead. Yeah. Now we're starting barely 50, even still with the systemic racism, they still have blocked. So we do not succeed. So this would give us an opportunity really to create economy for our Black community, which everybody has, but I don't feel like we have really strong economy as Black community here in the United States. So starting with Sacramento is a good start.
So this is good stuff. We definitely want you to come back on because, as we progress in this, we want to hear more and more and more. However, I know that you have some public forums, and if you can give a shout out to when and where the public forums will be so people can come and talk to you about it in person.
Yeah, I'm happy to start here, and then feel free to jump in, family. So right here at Florence Square, 2251 Florence Road here in Sacramento, California, on March 30th. I believe that's a Saturday, March 30th from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. We'll be right here at Florence Square in the Digital Cafe hosting California and Sacramento Reparation Information Session and Community Meeting, where we'll talk all things California reparations. You can ask all the questions that you want to ask. If we don't have answers, we'll help you find the answers. And we're going to talk about Sacramento's potential next steps forward for reparations. So we're going to be talking about the survey at the community meeting, but we're also going to be talking about what's going on at the state level also, and also what's going on at the federal level to help educate our community members so that when they take the survey, they're as informed as possible. So that's Saturday, March 30th, 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. right here at Florence Square. There's more coming. There'll be a bunch more events coming too.
Yeah, and the same thing for me. I have an event on the 19th, on April 2nd, and the 11th, and then the 26th. So we're trying to do as much event as possible so we are doing outreach and awareness and education when it comes to reparation. That's what we're doing every day.
But right now, it's important that you fill out these surveys.
Yes.
Very important to fill out the surveys and tell them, again, where they can fill these surveys out.
www.sacrepsurvey.com, www.sacrepsurvey.com. And I think, I don't think I know my good partner and friend here, Tsion, has these amazing cards here. You can probably see it in the camera.
And also on my Facebook, it's all over my Facebook, so they can go to Zion Taddese or Chris's Facebook. Yep. We posting it everywhere, especially the link. So all you have to do is just go to the link and fill out that easily, 2 minutes. Yeah.
I would be remiss, Ms. Tonya, if I did not mention, and I know you've been there, I know you agree with me, the food at Queen of Sheba is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
The food is delicious, and the honey wine is amazing.
That's your favorite.
It is my favorite.
Yeah.
And
The
this
food
is on
scrumptious.
17th and Broadway?
Yeah,
So
1704 Broadway, yes,
All right,
Sacramento.
all right.
Yes. And it's vegan friendly.
good.
Yes.
So for all you fellow vegans out there, you fellow Black vegans,
Yes.
vegan friendly. All right.
Remember how you were talking about health and wellness of our community is important too.
Yes.
So starting from food justice. So when we do food justice, then we're asking for land. We're asking for our land that we can grow our food, we can build our community, whatever it is we need for our community if they give us the fund. Mm-hmm. But if they don't give us the fund, how do you expect the Black community thrive when you're not giving the fund, but you're saying, oh, why aren't you not there? Because you're not giving us the fund.
And talking about that, I know, Chris, you got something that you're doing. You can share a little bit about what you're doing for us black folks. Please tell us.
So in addition to, I want to talk about a couple of different other things really quickly. So some of you know me from SAC Black Biz, which is Sacramento County's largest, most dopest community built and driven database platform marketing for Sacramento Black-owned businesses, Instagram and Facebook. Check us out at SAC Black Biz Official on IG, on Facebook, sacblackbiz.biz. I think we've supported every single business and entrepreneur in this room right now, if I'm looking around, and we will continue to do so.
Yes.
And then I also am the Policy and Community Organizing Manager at the Anti-Recidivism Coalition, ARC, where we help people who used to be in prison, some who are still in prison, but mostly folks who used to be in prison stay out of prison once they come out of prison. So check us out. Also.
You did quite a dope expungement program last weekend, right?
Yeah, well,
that was
right here at Florence Square.
Epic.
Yeah, about 200 people showed up here last Saturday, right here. 200. That's 200 people who are one step closer to jobs,
changing lives,
to housing, to school. You know, sometimes when you come out of prison, a lot of times, unfortunately, when you come out of prison, even after you did your time, you get punished after, because when you go for a job, they say you can't have a job because you did prison time, or you can't get housing, and that's not right. So that's what we're changing.
Yeah.
Now, you go to Florence Square, 2251 Florida Road, you go to Unit 109, and you step into Miss Nikki's world, right? Miss Nikki's world, which is where we're doing the podcast,
right?
But also where you can also get diamonds and pearls. Okay, well, maybe not that, but you get some clothing, some handmade jewelry, you know, all kinds of great stuff. All kinds of great stuff. So there's that, right? And then if you remember, this person over here, blurred, she said she wanted to end the show. So I'm gonna step back because she's my boss. And so now, if you're gonna end the show, you got to end it with some flair. So now we're all waiting for this flair.
You know what? I'm way flairier than you.
I agree. She's a lot more flairier than me. Okay.
That is a dope camera.
Oh, that is.
We got a lot of dope here.
Yeah.
No,
wait, what?
That is not what I was saying. Okay.
That was a disclaimer to any law enforcement.
No.
There is no dope in the building.
Tonya, can you please say something flairiest?
Okay.
Wait.
Our executive producer said wait.
We're still waiting? Okay, well, that gives you something to, think
Time
about.
to think about how flary I'm going to be as I take us out.
Right. Might I also say that we are here partially because of SMUD as well. SMUD is everywhere, and we love SMUD so much. So we thank SMUD for not only being a part of this podcast, but also so many of our 5 events that we're throwing at Florence Square. So, okay.
That sounded like a great wrap up.
Well, no, you're not gonna get past that flary stuff. So,
what?
Come on, give us some flair.
No, I'm flared out at this point. See, I'm not gonna do it now just because you're trying to make me. Like I'm not flare on demand. Like.
Okay.
You guys are very entertaining.
Yeah, you are.
I've known him way too long. That's what it is. I've known him way too long.
You know something? I'm not going to worry about the flair. I'm going to worry about
just
my life, your life, and your life.
And don't sing.
We're going to try to live life like it's golden.
Oh, that's the cue now?
That was it.
You better dance.
That was the cue.
Dance.
All right, that's the cue.
Our podcast never feel like we just get on these headsets and act dumb for
That's the whole point.
No.
That's the whole